a podcast that talks about music, movies, sports, and news.
To know the people, promoting and sharing with the world a beautiful story.
This is Frail Fragment's Monster Closet. Hey, this is Monster Closet episode number 85. It's Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. We are here with none other than Frail Fragment's drummer, Mintchev. Is that how you say your last name or pronounce it?
Mintchev, that's right.
Yeah, nice. So how's it going, Mike?
It's going good, man. It's going as good as it can go for now.
Nice. Mike is a busy guy. He's in like a bunch of projects. He's in Frail Fragment. On his Instagram, it's deemed essential. I've heard a lot about them. The Wasted Chances?
That's right, yeah. Fires and the Wasted Chances.
Bike is fucking sick too. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going. I know you have more than that, but every project that I've heard that you've been involved with, I've enjoyed. So that's another cool kind of thing. So your taste in music is good, you know, being in Frail Fragment as well. And you've been in the band since what, 2019?
That's right, 2019. I could even pull up the date.
Oh yeah, wow. I remember you walked in, I think it was Lakeshore in Islington. There was a rehearsal factory there. You had your Alice in Chains shirt on, and you're just, you know, like 18s. Were you about 18 years old, right?
Yeah, so I have the date here. I think May 28th is somewhere. Either
nice.
We had the rehearsal. I had a text message from Ian, so that's how I know the date. So that was 2019. May 28th, I was still 18 at that point.
Wow. And a lot has happened while Mike was in the band. Like he wasn't, we kind of were on hiatus during the lockdown. And the first time I kind of heard Mike play drums, you know, he was 18 and, you know, he was good enough to be in Frail Fragment at that time. But I mean, during the lockdown, this guy vlogged fucking almost 200 shows, and he was playing like every day with whoever he could play with, and he made a lot of contacts, a lot of cool stories. And when he came back after fucking that lockdown, I mean, and after, like, I was, you know, kind of following his vlog of, you know, just playing constantly, this guy leveled up like fucking ×2, right? So when he came back after the pandemic, it was like, wow, this guy's like, you know, he's good, you know, he's good now. And now I could honestly say he's leveled up even again since then. And like, you know, I consider him a good drummer, and he's 24 years old, right? Like, so he's in a lot of projects. He's a hungry guy. And what do you like about playing drums? Like, why do you do what you do? What drives you to work as hard as you do?
I think initially it's just the love of music. Even as, you know, as long as I can remember, you know, that core memory of just sitting in my parents' van and looking at the window and the radio's playing, right? And you just kind of imagine you're in a music video listening to the music. And I always just connected with music. My parents don't necessarily listen to anything. That's why it was just, you know, Pop 40 radio at first. Mm-hmm. And I really connected with it. You know, I got Facebook pretty young, and so I was doing these like lip sync covers of pop songs because that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And my mom, she's a visual artist. She was teaching art lessons, and they were offering her, you know, free lessons, you know, for her or for whoever. And so she asked me what I wanted to do, and I said drums because I wanted to go badumts. And that's my origin story. I'm sticking to it. Yeah. And once I started playing the drums,
yeah, I
realized it was a lot of fun. And, you know, the teachers showed me, you know, the first few songs you learn on drums is always like AC/DC. And so, you know, I was listening to like 2000s pop and AC/DC, and that was, you know, where I was at. And I remember he gave me this list of different, you know, artists. And I remember there was like Tool on there, and there was some other stuff. And I remember Nirvana was on there. And, you know, I remember watching the Tool video, and I was like, oh, that's a weird video. And then I checked out the Nirvana thing. I'm like, why is there this naked baby? Why would my drum teacher show me this? I just thought it was weird.
Yeah.
Later on down the line, maybe in middle school, you know, I started really getting into Nirvana and, you know, playing those songs, and it was exhilarating. Not even just playing, but listening to that music. I still find the joy in music to be both in playing it and to listening to it. So I think that's kind of how it what drives me so much is just that initial passion and interest, and yeah, just loving music, and I don't want to stop. I have no plans on stopping.
Do you have a goal? Like, do you want to play? You want to be a rock star? Do you want to fucking? Is that kind of like the end game, or like, are you content with doing what you're doing right now, and just playing as much as you can? Right? Like, is that the goal, or what? Do you have a goal, or what are your goals as far as being Mike Mintchev, the drummer, musician, artist?
Sure. So. Yeah. I remember, when I was in high school, a big dream of mine was to, I wanted to live off music. That I wasn't aiming for anything higher at that point. I just wanted, I wanted to sustain myself off of music. And like you mentioned, during the pandemic, during the lockdowns, I took it upon myself, because there was no rehearsal spaces, there was nowhere to play with people. I took it upon myself to start playing outside.
Cool.
And so once I started doing that, I kind of, I was doing it every single day. So I did 100 days of busking, playing on the street. And when I did that, I was, paying for my rent, living downtown. I was paying for food, and I had money left over. So that dream was kind of realized in that time, right? Like I was sustaining myself just playing drums. I didn't have any other job.
Yeah.
So once that dream was realized, I wanted to, kind of aim a little higher after that. So in terms of goals and dreams right now, with us, with Frail Fragment, once we hit, the Almo, and, it started with Sneaky D's and other places that I was playing, but then we hit the Almo, it's like, okay, slowly leveling up the venues, right?
Yeah.
Playing bigger and bigger venues. And right now that's the goal. In the next, 10 years, the goal is probably, let's say, the Rogers Center. Maybe, you could put it to 10 or 15, but, I want to perform on that stage. I don't have to be the headliner. I don't have to be the main artist, but I want to be on that stage,
Yeah.
So goals like that. In terms of my own artistic career, I have, like you mentioned, some groups of my own, and passions in that regard. That is more my music. I mentioned Nirvana. Dave Grohl is a huge inspiration. I have his book right here in front of me. I have a picture that you see all the time, Len, behind me at my drums.
Yeah.
And Dave Grohl was in one of the biggest bands in the world. Nirvana was #1, beat Michael Jackson, right? And he was the drummer for that band, so he already had a big break. But when Kurt died and, he was left on his own, he started his own band, and, they're proving to be potentially even more successful. They're very successful.
Yeah.
So, I take a lot of inspiration from drummers like Dave Grohl, people like Travis Barker, people who are household names that, they're not just a drummer in a band and, only drummers know them. Drummers
who are your Mount Rushmore of drummers?
Well, I got a big plaque here of Elvin Jones. He's the drummer of John Coltrane.
Sick.
So I stare off at him every time I'm practicing and hope to be as intense and driving and fiery as he can be. Dave Grohl is up there too. Another one is, you can kind of see behind me, this guy right here. His name is Kashikura Takashi. I think I'm getting that right. He's a Japanese band called Toe. And, the band is really simple. They just play like simple guitar lines, but then his drumming is just off the charts, and it kind of makes the band. So that's those three.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you do have 3. That's cool, man. I like David Grohl. For me, is the best rock and roll drummer, I think. The guy from Queens of the Stone Age, the guy's playing now in that band, is fucking right there as well. Like, he might even be better. But those two guys, like David Grohl, like, he's been doing it for a long time, right? So I kind of give him rock and roll, and then like metal would be Thomas Hake from Meshuggah for me. And then like, but just, I want to go back into Mike. He has a really strong jazz influence. I mean, he went to York for music and jazz. Am I correct?
That's right. Yeah. But now I'm at Humber.
Yeah. And now he's at Humber. So, I mean, it was refreshing to have those skills and bringing those skills to the table in Frail Fragment as young as he was, because there wasn't much of an ego there. I mean, you could tell, he's easy to work with, right? Like, there's no walking on eggshells really. And that's what is refreshing. What we've done with Mike since he's been in Frail Fragment, we've done 2 or 3 music videos, and some of the projects I've done, like some videos. I mean, like you've said, we've played El Macombo. We have a huge show coming up for Halloween, Saturday, October 26th, this Saturday night, with Phantom High. I mean, and when they play, they're closing the show, and when they play, the kind of the fucking, the atmosphere changes. You know, it's kind of like playing with like a Slipknot or something, where just like they change the air, you know, like it's just a weird vibe. So I'm looking forward to playing with them, and it's really fitting that we're doing a Halloween gig with them. Birdie, who are kind of, that's their, you know, hometown bar in Oshawa, the Atria. And then the Android Meme, who are good friends of ours, and like we've met some people through them as well, and they're kind of like, you know, music family as well. We've done a lot of shows together. And then we're going to take some time to really get the hang of playing with stemming and adding that pre-recorded element to our sound. Not for everything, but having the ability to do that and incorporate it into a set. So when we come back in March or April, we're going to be like the beginning stages of being a professional fucking band, right? We got all of the nuts and bolts to be a professional band. You know, and that's kind of how we start, and it really will, you know, all of this shit, you know, will evolve, and we'll get to know each other a lot more. And I feel that from Mike playing drums in the songs now. He really kind of, he knows, like, he knows where the song is gonna go, kind of like, if he's, you know. So I'm not really, the way I work is, you know, you can kind of do your own thing, right? But you know, if I strongly feel about something, I'll let you know, and I'll tell you, right? And it's like, it's been a good working relationship with you, Mike, and thank you for being in Frail Fragment, and thank you for everything that you've done. And it's kind of a two-way street, because, you know, it's all of us together are creating memories and experiences, right? And I will pay into that. You know, I don't really, and that's kind of what I've learned playing all these fucking shows. Yeah, because my end game, bro, like, was to play the Sky Dome or the Rogers Center, you know, when I was 14, like when their Supernova was, you know, ripping me off, and now you have, you know, all these other Battle of the Bands companies. But, you know, back then it was Supernova, and they were, you know, where would you like to play? And, you know, Sky Dome. But it's, you know, anything can happen, right? We have the important thing is we have a working band that works. We have songs, and that's another thing we're going to do from November to March or April. Like, I'm gonna get you in the studio and get you in on all of the new songs that, you know, I'm 6 songs in, so I want to, and for the new album, I want to bring these guys in to do their parts, right? So that's gonna happen as well. And then, you know, I'm gonna take a couple of weeks off after this show, and then start booking shows for April. You know, I want to get to Hamilton, I want to get to Guelph, I want to get to Waterloo, Toronto, Oshawa, and maybe Peterborough, who knows, right? But yeah. Like I want the festivals to happen too, you know, and like just keep doing it, and do it for the right reasons. Do it for the right reasons, you know, like to have fun and to celebrate music, and nothing can stop you, right? If you're doing it for the right reasons, nothing can stop you. Yeah. And we're Frail Fragment is a slow moving boat, and I've said that from day one, but it doesn't really stop, right? So a lot of bands like sink in that ocean, right? But Frail Fragment's still going, right? And we've been kind of going since 2000 and for a long time, bro. Because I started playing in, like, I started writing Frail Fragment songs, bro, in like 1995 maybe, or 94. That's when I started writing like Frail Fragment shit, right? So it's like we weren't Frail Fragment, we were like Cloud9, and then I joined another band. But Cloud9 was like my project kind of, and Frail Fragment is kind of the rebirth of that, and it's changed and evolved. But I really like this band, and we got a solid band. So I'm having fun doing it. We're gonna, you know, rehearse tomorrow for the show on Saturday. And, you know, I want to focus a little bit more on rehearsing. And sorry, I'm just blabbing off here, but I mean, we got a big show coming up, and, you know, come out to Oshawa, man, because this is gonna be a good one. We're playing all of our heavy shit, and yeah, like so, yeah, that would be my Mount Rushmore. Maybe or John Bonham or Danny Carey as my third guy. But yeah, David Grohl and Thomas Hake is my other two. So
Yeah, those are some serious contenders for sure. And you were talking about working together and working well together, that kind of relationship. I find with everything, I'm the drummer, sure, but I'm not the star of the band, and especially the most important part for me is it's your music. Like you're saying, you wrote these songs 30 years ago. So, I want to be true to your artistic vision, right? Like I can go off and, try and show off the whole time, but really, it's your songs and that's what we're presenting. So,
well,
I
let
always
me
want to
stop
hear
you
what you
though.
have to say.
I love that, and I thank you. But let me stop you there. What I've learned is to let go more. Be aware. Be aware of Mike Mintchev and what he can bring to that song and make it evolve into something better. Because I think that's what God wants. He wants all of us to put in our creative ideals and to make that song better. So yeah, I might be the guy that brings in the song and it's structured and it's arranged and there's, everything is ready to go. But I want you guys to do your own thing as well, right? But if I feel strongly about something, if I have something written kind of like that beat in my head, I'm gonna tell you, what that beat sounds like in my head. You might hear it differently and might choose to play it differently. And if I still feel strongly about that, I'll tell you. But chances are, you can kind of do your own thing. Like, I'm all for you being creative and having that creative expression. But I just want to be I want my painting or my idea to be seen fully before that happens as well. So, and that's a lot of times it's ego, right? So it's like, you want to show, like, let's say you have the whole song and you want to show the band that whole song. In the past, there's been ego there, which won't even really listen. They don't want to be told what to do. They want to just bring what they have to offer into the song without understanding your vision. So that's the part, like, once you understand my vision, then you can be whoever the fuck you want to, whatever you could do, whatever the fuck you want to do in that song, once you understand what I'm trying to do. But if you think you understand what I'm trying to do and you have a issue with listening, or learning with listening or observing, you want to just kind of do your own thing, then it's like that could become argumentative and like, it's hard to be in a band together. You have to respect everyone's lives, and it's like 4 relationships, right? You have to really respect everyone's lives and time, and I've come a long way, because the 24-year-old me wouldn't handle this shit the way I would handle it now, right? So that's another cool thing, but I'm in a different place in my life now, and your life is gonna change as well, right? So if music is important to you, and I feel like it is, it's gonna survive everything that you go through, right? You're gonna continue to do it. Yeah. It's just gonna change, right? But Mike, I'm gonna let you go because it's it's been 20 minutes, right? And and this is how it goes. But I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the show. Dress up for Halloween, the Atria Saturday night, October 26th, with Phantom High, Birdie, the Android Meme, and Frail Fragment. We're playing at around 10 o'clock, prime time. FrailFragment.com. This is the Monster Closet, episode 85. Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. Mike Mintchev, Frail Fragment drummer. Thank you so much for being with us. Keep it locked. Thank you again. Peace.
Peace.
So far away in the fog, I see through your eyes. No more surprise, I've been blind for so long. Another one dies, and you help me see. Connection of affection, I'll pretend to be your friend, really revenge. They don't need show way. Happy birthday. Lovely time, take over me. Lovely time. Over me. Go back to where this all started, when we parted to see you again. Say to me, on me, essential sweet, just for you. That's all I need. Seduction, obstruction, control from day one. I'm not alone. The rage is feelings that take over me. The window take over me. Lovely time, take over me. Lovely time, take over me. Lovely time, lovely time, lovely time. Just don't just lovely just lovely just